I get emails from readers now and then, and I'm very cautious that who I follow through with. But there was this charming woman who didn't tell me at first that she wasn't a lesbian, which was fine, you know. She understood my work, so that was the first thing that made me pay attention.
I had read Swashbuckler, and the first 2 chapters it's general fiction, and I just cried after the first chapter and cried after the second chapter, and then...
I'm still making her cry.
Yes. And she was just signed by Bold Strokes Books, and I've been reading Bold Strokes books for a bunch of years, and this was 2006, and I said, hey, are you going to go to the Golden Crown Literary Society? It's the second year, and it's Atlanta. She said, no, I'm going to Saints and Sinners, and I can only go to 1 trip a year. And so then when 2007 rolled around, we'd become postcard buddies. Turns out we both love acquiring postcards, sending postcards, and I was just so enraptured by her general fiction because I'd been reading romances so much, and a lot of my friends who'd been lesbians for decades or more, hadn't made the effort to read the classics. So I started gifting them with her collection.
And at my end of things, it was like, oh my God, this woman is buying all my books over and over and over. So, well, for one thing, I thought there was something wrong with her.
Yeah, stalker. And so, knowing she was working as little as possible to be able to write as much as possible, I had said, hey, why don't we room together? Because a lot of times in Golden Crown, you can room together and not think anything of it. And so she was like, oh, I don't know about that. And then she said, I guess, had an epiphany. Why live shyly?
Well, it was not just that. It was because she lived in Tarpon Springs, Florida. And in the Swashbuckler, the main character goes there. And I had never been there.
She called it a kitschy town. And I said, hey, you call this a kitschy town? She's like, well, I saw a postcard and it looked kitschy. I'm like, well, it is a kitschy town, but you shouldn't have said that.
So I decided, well, not only did I really like her, but I would get a chance to see Tarpon Springs, because she promised she would take me to all the highlights of Tarpon Springs, which was her, but that turned out later.
So 2007 rolled around, and it was June in Atlanta, and very hot. And this poor thing from Portland comes bounding off the plane, and I picked her up at the airport, and we just hit it off. We'd been friends online, and we'd been up to, say, 20 emails a day.
And she was just as nice in person as she was online. I didn't think that would happen.
And then she courted me, and unbeknownst to me, she took me out to dinner at the Bold Strokes book dinner. And I said, oh, no, you want to take a really good friend. She's like, nope, I want you there.
And when I asked if I could bring a friend, well, who? Elaine Mulligan.
So by the last day of GCLS, apparently, unbeknownst to me, Lee had been developing feelings for me, and I had been developing feelings for her, but I thought it was all one-sided, so I wasn't going to say anything. And friends had been telling me, you would be a perfect couple with Lee. I'm like, no.
Telling me the same
at
thing.
At GCLS, throughout the conference.
And I'll name names.
Yes.
Connie Ward.
Kathy Isherman. And no, not at all. And so Lee finally was the tough dyke to say, I have feelings for you. And I'm like, oh my gosh. The conference was over. This was Sunday night. We were leaving Monday. And
to stay at her house.
And I said, well, I should be honest with you. I have feelings for you, but it's not a good thing. I'm 3,700 miles away, and I'm straight, just not smart. This is probably, I'm just a fan.
Well, I was not into straight women. I was never ever going to bring anybody out again.
So, but on the way down to Tarpon Springs, when we finally got there.
Well, she doesn't remember. We were holding hands in a car, and she just does not remember that.
And then what did you say once we got to Tarpon Springs?
Can we do the lottery ticket?
Yes. Go ahead, tell them the lottery ticket.
Okay, so we stop at this place to get gas, and she sends me in to get lottery
Scratch-offs.
Scratch-offs, just for the heck of it, and I bring it out, and she does it because that's how we, the femme gets to do that kind of stuff, and they all looked like winners. So
Yeah, there were 12 boxes, and each one looked like it was a matching box. So I'm like, well, I'm obviously not reading this right. What I'll do is I went back in, and I said, I don't know, which I've won and which I haven't. And the clerk behind the counter, we're still in Georgia, Augusta, Georgia,
somewhere.
Valdosta, Georgia. And she said, dang, you won them all. So that became the saying, dang, you won them all.
And she
for
thought
anything.
It was a good omen.
That was an omen. So then when we got to Tarpon Springs, what did you say?
I don't know what I said. What did I say?
You know what you said.
I don't remember what I said. Oh, no, you got to tell about the
No.
Tide stick.
No.
All right.
She said, well, anyway, I got some lipstick on. I gave her a hug from behind to welcome her. But I, being femme, I had all this lipstick, so it got on her collar. And she turned around and said, don't think. And then they lived happily ever after.
Because of GCLS.
Yes.
And that was the first time we ever met. And so we've been coming ever since.